So this is more, yes, it's like right now it's 79 degrees in the car and it's hot as fudge. So we gotta make the video nice and quick. This is more of a more deeper explanation of what I post on TikTok, which means older doesn't mean you're necessarily wiser. Part two, I'm trying to find the camera. I'm looking over here and the camera's over there. Part two, as I said before, like in my last video, that I saw this person, seen this person around plenty of times. We chatted. I had my business cards out at this establishment, and they picked it up and laughed in my face, saying, "Oh, you're a life coach. I have 50 years plus on you." By basically saying, like, you don't have enough experience to be a life coach. What do you know about being it since you're 26 and young? That's the take I got from it. But the thing is, like, that person even said that they have a hard time putting themselves first, and that they're learning their lessons right now at 50. So I'm thinking, like, I'm trying to learn my lesson earlier on, so when I'm later on in life, I don't have to have these struggles, have these issues that I'm working on. But I have issues. I have these triggers I'm working on where things aren't so great. So think about this, guys. But just because you're older doesn't mean you're necessarily wiser. I mean, you can learn something at anything. You learn something at any age, in front of anybody. Like, I'm adopted, so I've like nephews and nieces of all range of all ages. I met the most mature 18-year-olds because, you know, my nephew is 18, so his friends come over, I've chatted, I'm like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" You know, my mature 18-year-olds, and I met the most immature 50-year-olds, and vice versa. Like, some people just don't pretty much grow up. But when you become the most authentic version of yourself, you learn to recognize your triggers. You learn that you want actually more out of life, and you're willing to do the work in your younger years. So later on, you don't have these problems where you don't know how to communicate in relationships. You don't know what is going on in your heart, on what to do, and with certain triggers problem. You don't do the form of attachment. You learn to want more for yourself. When you want more for yourself, it's going to piss a lot of people off. It's going to piss a lot of people off. Because now you're on a different level than everybody else, in a different wavelength. And that's okay, guys. Being on a different level and a different wavelength is okay. Wanting more for yourself is okay. I mean, you're gonna be lonely. Like, I'm lonely all the time sometimes. But I know for a fact if I were to be around people that I used to be around, I would be even more lonely with them, making poor decisions that I've kind of grown out of. But once you become most authentic version of yourself, you learn to trust yourself, trust your decisions. You learn to take the actions, go to therapy, go to life coaching. Break generational curses, recognize generational trauma patterns. I know there's certain things in my family that a lot of us haven't really worked through. I mean, I was going to be honest, like, communication isn't probably the greatest. I've said this to my family, I said it too, but I like learned back in the day because I know everyone's been through so much that you've no idea. But some people don't know how to process those emotions and process how to talk to them. So for me personally, I decided to seek help. Well, first I was 18 one day, and my boss at the time kind of forced me to counseling. And I realized I thought holding your emotions was healthy, and like breaking down and crying and like hyperventilating was healthy and normal. No, it was not. So since I was like first into 18, my boss was I commend him to this very day. He probably saved my life. I'm gonna be honest. Therapy, counseling did save my life. I'm gonna let you know I wouldn't even know if I'd be here today because I was so disconnected myself. And then with the Live and Free program at 22, I just got deeper dived in with my spirituality, with God, my adoption trauma, codependency issues. So that also helped save my life as well. There's so many different stages of your life. And now with them trying to take the steps of being a life coach, you have to know that there's going to be someone always trying to doubt you and what you do. There's going to be someone that's always going to try to judge your efforts because sometimes they're not at the level that you're at. And that's okay. Some people are on their own journey. But you can't let it discourage you in what you want to do. You can't let it discourage you. They diminish your self-worth thinking, "Oh, maybe I can't do this. Maybe I don't have experience." I used to think I'd have experience with life coach. But the thing is, you realize how much experience you do have when you're talking to someone quite older that they're talking about the same thing, doing the same thing, and they're thinking the same thing is going to give you different results, but it's not going to give you different results. If you're doing the same thing around people who may not have your best interest at heart, it's not going to be the best scenario for you. It's some people don't understand that A plus B does not equal C, and they're just on their own journey, and that's okay. But you have to realize that. I mean, yeah, there's older people can give great wisdom. There's so much good wisdom. But sometimes you may know, since you're on your healing journey, life coaching journey, you may know more than a person who's older than you. And then there's some things I learned from my nephew. He's 18. Like, I learned from him personally. Like, I learned that how to try to maybe not take things so personally, you know, because sometimes I do take things personally. So when they said, honestly, I forgot. Anonymous, when they said, when he said, oh, so someone said, so when people say, when he or she says that, like, even like, it's not even just males that do it, females, when they say that, sometimes like people will laugh, like they will laugh in my face about it, like, what do I know? But clearly, you know, sometimes you got to keep pushing through any adversity. Understand yourself so much that no matter what people say, like if you can't do something, you know yourself personally in your heart that it won't stop your motivation and grind. You can be able, that person, to break down rules and curses and patterns, and you could be a person to, if you see something that's wrong, call up on it. So remember my Unfiltered is, if you need any more life coaching sessions, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to at Unfiltered YouTube, but also go to my website. It's linked in the bio. If you need some one-on-one sessions, they're free sessions. Or if not, if the link doesn't work, click the email. I'm open to help you guys become the most truth, guide you towards more authenticity.